Hi everybody, it's the afternoon of Wednesday 13th of May. The really good news is that the fry from the spawning, which took place early Saturday morning, are all hatched now, just about to come free swimming, as you'll see over the course of this video, where we'll talk through feelings at different stages of that process of seeing the eggs develop to the point where they became free hatching. A couple of things I want to talk about in advance. First of all, lots of people have asked me about malachite green and treating them with malachite green. The old rules seem to used to be that you dosed with half-dose malachite green. Malachite green solution typically used to be 2% solution. Nowadays, most of the brands that you can buy off the shelves are 1% solution. So basically, I treated with NC Labs malachite just from the bottle. This is a 1% solution, so just treated as per the instructions on the bottle. So full strength according to this. But I say, in the olden days, malachite green used to be double the strength of this. So that's basically all I did. That went in around probably 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday. So what, 9 hours after spawning completed. And then someone asked me, people asked me about changing water, etc, etc. All I did, the UV was switched off, and then malachite green added, and now the UV's gone back on. Went back on Sunday afternoon, I think. So, as you'll see from the eggs on the various bits of videos of the spawning ropes, everything has stayed really, really clean this year from this spawning. A very little sign of fungus on any of the eggs, and the whole spawning net compared to last year seems very fresh. Not really sure of the reason why, whether it's just the fact the eggs were healthier and there was less waste, but yeah, so everything seems really good in them at the moment. And so the next phase that we'll get onto is feeding. I'm giving them a tiny little bit of food at the moment, just a tiny pinch, and the food they're getting, as we did last year, and everybody asked last year, so they're probably asking this year, is this ZM100 from zmsystems.co.uk. Be warned, if you're thinking about doing it, bloody expensive. If you think things like Sakiyaka are expensive, you haven't tried this yet and haven't looked at this, but it seems to do what's required. I've also got some baby milk powder as well. A friend Gallatin in Hawaii sent me a video of the recipe of he makes up for his fry, mixing eggs and baby milk powder. My one concern with it potentially is the fact that it might be a bit messy. That's my concern. So I'm in an R whether I'm going to give it a go. Just at the moment, to say the net's lovely and clean, relatively clean, and I don't really want it getting gunked up, because the plan is that they will stay in here for a month until the first selection takes place, and only after then will the net get changed over, and the larger net will take place of this. The larger whole net will take the place of this one. So that's the plan. So I'm still thinking about that, whether I try that for a few days or whether I just stick with the ZM food for now. But anyway, so on with the video. What I'll do, we'll show you the various stages of development through Sunday through to this morning, and my thoughts and feelings at the various points as to how things were going. Okay, so this is the scene Sunday morning, 26 to 31 hours or so after the eggs had been laid, depending on what point they were laid during the spawning, of course. These pretty, at first glance you can sort of look and think there's lots of white eggs, which are the unfertilized ones, but then if you look closer, the clear coloured ones, which are the fertilized eggs, are actually quite numerous, although much more difficult to see among the spawning ropes. It's kind of amazing really that two fish in the space of that water can release eggs and sperm and have any degree of success of fertilising them. But so the initial feeling, I was happy that some eggs had been fertilised anyway. It looked like we were going to have some degree of success potentially from the spawning, certainly this early stage. Okay, moving on to Monday morning. So this is now 50 to 56 hours after the eggs had been laid by the female. And as we can see quite clearly, lots of little black eyes inside the fertilized eggs as the embryo is growing inside. So this was probably really the most exciting thing to see, because it confirms obviously there's something growing inside the egg. And it's amazing how quickly this happens. We're less than, or just over 2 days since the spawning process really started, and already we have babies growing inside the egg. So I was very happy to see this anyway. I've got to say, when I first looked into the tank on a Wednesday morning, it seemed that lots of the eyes had disappeared, and it wasn't until later on in the day that Mum looked into the tank and said, "Have they started hatching?" And I said, "Oh, I doubt it very much yet. You must be imagining things." But then when I looked closely, sure enough, they were hatching, which was a good sign. Moving on to today, this is filmed 98 to 103 hours after they were first hatched, and it's great to see so many fry on the side of the net. As you look at this, this is actually looking down the side of the net. It looks like it's maybe the bottom of the net, and they're just sitting down on the bottom. And these are fish. These are fry hanging on the side of the net as they make their way to the surface. So it seems that's really rough for them there, but they just keep returning back to the side of the net. If anybody's seen some video we made in Poland where the fry were in the hatching jars, you'll see they're quite capable of surviving what seemed quite a violent process. But that's where we're at, so just waiting for those fry to become fully free swimming, which they'll do over the course of the next few hours and into tomorrow, and then we'll start feeding them in earnest.